Hello, familia. So it is about 3:03 p.m. on this beautiful Monday, finishing up my lunch break, and I just wanted to touch base before I had to trickle back into the office because the first thing I did this morning, or at least one of the first things that I did this morning, was crack open my Bible and try to set some time apart to nurture my relationship with God and express my gratitude and just set the intentions for the day and see what it was that God wanted me to focus on. Also, before I continue, my apologies in advance. I got Coco a dog toy yesterday from TJ Maxx, and I just thought it was going to be good for her teeth and like a heavy chewer type of resistant toy. Did not realize that it was going to be a one of those enrichment activities with the weird noises. So if you hear anything odd, it's just my little dog. But when I was flipping through the Bible this morning and trying to get right with Jesus, the first thing that I ended up flipping to was the 10 Commandments. And I had highlighted them in the past, so they like really stuck out to me. But that was the absolute first thing that I turned to. And I think I checked out on just about all of them, except towards the end. I think essentially like talking smack about your neighbors or not taking care of your neighbors or not having the best intentions for your neighbors. I should probably do better about that. And then after that kind of humbled me and hurt my feelings, I very quickly just randomly flipped to another section of the Bible, just kindly and humbly asking God to just show me what he needed to show me in order to align me with his will. And I opened up to the very beginning of Ruth. And unfortunately, I didn't have time to like dive into either one of these themes this morning. I did oversleep like crazy, but I'll consider it a blessing from God because it's a pretty dreary day. And the extra rest has been very beneficial for today, but I digress. I didn't have a chance to like dive into either one of these passages or books in the Bible. And I keep wanting to dive in deeper while I'm at the office, just during any downtime. But today it hasn't been busy. Like I haven't been overwhelmed with work at any given point. But it has been very steady, like consistent, like tasks to do after one is done. Just people streaming in and phone calls and whatnots. And but at some point, I'm sure it's going to die down, and I'll be able to like sit down and read a little bit more about Ruth and Naomi and Boaz and the 10 Commandments and how I can focus on that to kind of like set the tone, maybe not only for the day but for the week, and see what comes out of that and what's worth sharing. But yeah, other than that, I'm trying my best to like refrain from cussing. That's a big one. I just felt a conviction in my heart to just not do that if I can, or use the Lord's name in vain. So like a big one is being like, nah, I feel like a hypocrite now if I say it, but being like, gosh darn it, but not saying gosh darn it. And I don't know. So I'm trying not to do that. You might very much notice a difference from when I first started posting videos this year to today. And I'm trying not to be a hypocrite about it. So anything you see here on the internet, I am also trying to implement out in the real world. But yeah, those are my intentions so far. Other than that, I very much need to go to the gym after work. I want to work out legs and I want to do 30 minutes on the Stairmaster. But the thing is, I'm going to be going like right after work when the gym is packed. So I don't know how comfortable I'm going to be doing legs today, but I did get my new gym outfit yesterday. So hopefully that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable, a little more confident when I go in there. And worst case scenario, I can always go to the gym here for like weight training and just go to the big gym for cardio. And if it's not busy, just do like all the other fun equipment that I don't have access to at my community gym here and do it there. Just like explore and then finish with cardio. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. So I'll get home, If the weather permitting, I'll see if I can take the dog for a WAOK, head to the gym. But meanwhile, I do want to squeeze in time to focus on those two things. I felt really called and to do it. I am gravitating towards those two themes that I woke up to this morning. And I just want to see what about it is such a big deal. I do, though, I am familiar with the story of Boaz, and like everybody's talking about finding your Boaz, but instead they're finding, I feel bad cussing, but it's funny. But instead of finding my Boaz, I keep finding my broke ass, my dumb ass, my loser ass, my bum ass, my everything ass. Not my Boaz. And I don't know. But I'm trying not to read too much into it because, again, I'm just trying to stay single for as long as possible. On that theme, not related to God at all, just a psychological human behavior observation that I want to point out. I'm very single. I'm very much embracing my singleness. I'm having officially a jolly time being single as of yesterday. Today, I'm feeling great. What is it about embracing life that makes it visible? Because I don't want to say that I'm acting any different to other people. Because even when I feel at my absolute worst, I try to put on like face, you know, like it's nobody else's responsibility to deal with my not so great emotions. Yo, not cussing. That's hard for me. I need to come up with new adjectives. But anywho, it's not anyone else's responsibility to deal with my not so great behavior or moods or reactions or whatever. So I try to put on a brave face. But there's something about being single that gives off a different energy, because now everyone and their mama's mama wants to hit on me. And that's cool. That's sweet. But I finally reached an age where it's no longer the young whippersnappers. It's now people like in their 40s, which is cool. I'm okay with that. If, you know, me as a little 29-year-old decide to like rendezvous and start a life with a little 48-year-old man, so be it. I'm not complaining. That's fine by me. However, that seems to be the only... What about me is giving 40? You know what I mean? Like when I tell them I'm 29, they're shocked and then they stop talking. And that's fine. That's appropriate to a degree, to many degrees. But that seems to be my new target audience, which, cool. Anywho, I'm going to go ahead and read about Boaz and Ruth and Naomi and, what's her name? Not Oprah. Every time I see her name in the Bible, that's all I want to say though. It's like Orpah. Nope, that's an animal. No, that's an orca. Anyway, I'm gonna go do that. If I learn anything new, I'll try to edit this video and add it in. So I did learn a bunch of new stuff today, but specifically about the book of Ruth, not so much about the 10 Commandments. I think that was just kind of like to set the tone for the day. I think God wanted to check me and be like, hey, remember this like sticky feeling in your gut when you were reading about loving your neighbor and whatnot? Let's remember that sticky feeling so that you're not feeling sticky about people throughout the day. How about that? But the real thing that I was gravitating towards was the book of Ruth. And I did do some research. Okay, I got off work and I got home. I got some time to kill before I decided to like head over to the gym and whatnot. But the first thing I did was look up the book of Ruth on YouTube, and I think it's called The Bible Project, that does like the animated explanations about different books in the Bible, and they do a fantastic job. But after watching a 7-minute video on the book of Ruth, I decided to then open my Bible and read like the commentary down at the bottom, like the study portion of it, and then all the little diagrams and the explanations of the different characters. just to get a more well-rounded understanding like of the history and what different expressions may mean based off the translation. More insight on the characters themselves and why they may or may not have chosen to do the things that they did and how that relates to current day life. And then I skimmed. I'm not going to say I read the whole book, although it's a very short book in the Bible. I think it's only like 4 chapters. But needless to say, the things that I took away from the book of Ruth. One, apparently, again, because I did not read it in its entirety, but the fact that God is barely mentioned within the book itself. I think the analogy that it's supposed to like portray is that even if nobody sees the hand of God, even if nobody mentions God, even if you're not even aware that his presence is even a thing, the hand of God is always present, and he's always actively redeeming whatever is happening, not only for your greatest good, but for his glory, for his redemption, and for just for the sake of mercy and love. That does not mean that you are without consequence, okay? That does not mean that you're not going to feel the emotions of life just being life. That doesn't mean that you are exempt from life lifing at you, all right? But that does mean that whatever tragedy, whatever heartbreak, whatever issue that you are experiencing, God will find a way to turn it around once you've learned the lessons that you needed to learn. He will turn it around for your favor. So that's the first thing I took away from it. Number 2, the main theme I think I picked up on was loyalty, commitment. First with Ruth, first and foremost with Ruth. Not only her commitment to like Naomi, which is like very present, but her commitment to God. Like the fact that she was able to go about being a Moabite or Moabitess, however you pronounce that, not a museum lady. The fact that she went from being surrounded and growing up in one type of like pagan religion and then adopting a Hebrew religion just because she married into it. But then growing through Naomi, because apparently she looked up to Naomi. Naomi acted in a way that was very godly, that was very inspiring. Like she preached to Ruth. The way that Naomi preached to Ruth was simply in her actions and her commitment to God. And the fact that she was able to abandon her OG family, her place of like everything about her original life, be able to turn it around and be like, no girl, Naomi, I got you. Let's go back to your hometown. I'm gonna follow you through it. I'm not going to abandon you. I'm not gonna let you suffer alone. I'm here with you. You've been too influential in my life. You've been too good to me. All I can do in return, the least I can do, is be good to you, especially during such a trying time. And that really speaks to me on a personal level, mainly because in this last relationship, I can't say with full confidence that I stuck around through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I do have regrets in regard to that. And I can't help but feel that maybe God highlighted the book of Ruth and this theme in particular to me so that by the next time I get into a relationship, I don't repeat the same patterns. That I am mature enough to realize the type of struggles that God wants me to persevere through and the type of struggles that anyone, including God, would not allow. And in this past relationship, it was more the former than the latter. And I do have regrets about that. Ultimately, things happened the way they needed to happen. God has taken care of things the way that God has needed to take care of things. But that is one of my regrets, and seeing that highlighted in the book of Ruth did do its numbers on me. But all of this to say, Ruth, like, undying, unwavering loyalty to Naomi and to her new religion with God, is very inspirational and is something to admire. Something else I want to point out is Naomi. So Naomi, again, because of the woman she was able to like preach and serve as testimony and serve as an influence and a role model to Ruth. And in doing so, she was able to like successfully convert Ruth into becoming a God-fearing lady. And that's the goal, right? To like turn people away from naughty things. And I'm fearful of saying that because I don't necessarily want to make everybody a Christian, but I do definitely want to leave people better than how I found them. And there are some things like black and white, dude, like that's not good. That's not right. And I hope people have the same backbone when it comes to me. Like, hey, G, you're cool. I like you, but like some things are not right. You should stop doing that. And having the godly conscience, the discernment, that's the word. Having the discernment to tell like what's worth considering and what's just a projection. But anywho, but Naomi, she was a fantastic role model. But I also appreciate that the Bible just let her cry. Let her be mad. The Bible let her be angry. And she wasn't punished for being mad. Like, she still remained faithful to God. She was still straight with God. She wasn't like, you know what, God, you hurt my feelings by not letting me have my sons anymore. I'm mad. I don't understand why you did this, but I'm not going to stop believing in you because of it. I'm tight. Like, I'm really angry. And being able to see her be sassy like that, but God still provide for her with the presence of Ruth and the provision of Boaz and a strong spirit to continue to be able to show up in life. That was nice. So again, just seeing her be a role model and still seeing her be human and still be loved by God because of it. Or in spite of it, not because of it, in spite of it. That was nice. Obviously, I can't help but feel hope when it comes to the relationship between Ruth and Boaz. The fact that they complemented each other so well. The fact that Boaz turned out to be someone who could protect, provide, and connect with Ruth. Like, that's all I am asking for in my next relationship or in any relationship that I'm in, whether it's romantic or platonic or familial. Yeah, I'm very happy that I went down the rabbit hole of Ruth. I do plan on reading it in its entirety, probably before bed if I get the chance and I'm not too beat. But I do have other things I wanted to do tonight, including the gym and making a home-cooked dinner. And yeah, I'm really proud of today. If I can just repeat today, except like 1% better tomorrow, we're going to be in really, really good shape, I think. And today is January 27th, 2K25. So happy Monday, you beautiful people. If you like this video at all, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, all of that good jazz. Know that I love you with all of my heart, and I will catch you in my next video. Mwah. Mwah.